What's up, everybody? It's your girl Tony, and I'm here to obviously speak about Miss Porsha Williams and Shamea Morton. If you know me, you know I like to get straight to the point, so I'm not gonna, drag this whole intro out. But I just want to say I am always right. I told you guys last year that these two are gonna get into it really bad on their overseas trip to Scotland. I told you guys that last year. Go back and watch my old videos. But like this video, subscribe to my channel. Now let's unpack some dirt here and dive into their history as well as what just happened. So if you've been keeping track of Real Housewives of Atlanta this season, and I'm saying if because I gotta be honest, a lot of viewers have tuned out. A lot of people are no longer interested in the show. They feel like it's lost its spark. But nonetheless, I know you're on here because you want to get the tea. So this current season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 17, Porsha and Shamea have been paying each other dust. And when I say that, I'm saying that these two do not engage with each other at all on the show. It is so awkward. It's like they're not even at the same event. Like they're not in the same room. They do not speak to each other. It's very odd. And I must say, Porsha has been on the show for several seasons, and we all know that this is abnormal when it comes to housewives, right? Because if you have an issue with someone, you're gonna address it. I mean, come on, this is Housewives of Atlanta. We have seen true friendships break down on the show. We've seen Nene and Cynthia have their awkward discussions. We've had Kenya and Cynthia have their awkward moments. We've had Phaedra and Candy have their sit down. We've seen close friendships unravel and come back together on this show. But what we have not seen in 17 years of Real Housewives of Atlanta is two people with so much history and chaos in their relationship, and they're just not speaking about it. They're not speaking about it to each other. They're not speaking about it to the other ladies in the show. They're just acting like they don't even exist. Like, it's just abnormal. And honestly, if I were Bravo Network or if I was Andy Cohen, I would have a significant problem, because why are we paying you ladies these big bucks for you guys not to be honest? Now, in the beginning of the season, we found out from Shamea that after the reunion of season 16, her and Porsha had a nasty text exchange. Now, because these two never shared the text exchange, we don't know exactly what was said. All we know is from interviews and recent clips that I put together, Shamea basically kind of confronted Porsha through text about her making up lies at the reunion, saying that, maybe she was kissing Candy or something like that. And but unfortunately, we don't know the full story because they both keep saying it's a private text message. Okay, well, why even bring it up, Shamea, if it's so private? And guess what? At the end of the day, you guys came back on the show. We knew you were beefing from season 16. We already knew that. But you guys came on the show season 17, and you're playing in our faces as audiences, okay? You're playing in our face. Bravo, Andy Cohen, Truly Original TV. Stop this, okay? Stop letting these girls play in everyone's faces, including y'all, because y'all the ones paying them. If you guys have conflict, you're on a reality show, you get paid to argue with each other, why on earth are you guys trying to play in everyone's faces like you guys can just ignore each other and not say anything to each other and no one's going to notice? That is stupid. We all want to know what happened between you two. We want to know what's going on. And for anyone to sit up there and be like, oh, this should be private, well, then they shouldn't be on the show then. Point blank, period. They should just not be on the show, because you guys are two castmates on the show. Let's talk about it. Y'all fell out on the show. Let's talk about it. But needless to say, guys, this whole season, zero communication between these two. Not even a, hey, how's your daughter doing? Nothing. Zero communication. Okay? So here we are. Porsha is at the table talking about Dennis being upset. He feels like basically she always has someone new around her daughter. I'm not even going to go there. We're not here to talk about Porsha and all the people she dates and whoop de whoop, okay? He's saying that he's worried about her, having new people around her child again. Shamea mentions that Dennis told Gerald, Shamea's husband, that Porsha is uncomfortable with Pilar coming around and doing playdates with Shia. Now, I want you guys to take that in really quickly. Some of y'all are going to say, oh, well, if I'm not cool with somebody, my child wouldn't come over their house either. But I'm going to keep it fair for Shamea. Shamea didn't say that Pilar has to come to her house. And she didn't have to say Pilar would be unattended. Apparently, the way they do their play dates is with the men, like Gerald and Dennis. That's how they had been doing it. Because Dennis and Gerald are friends, okay? So why is that a problem? Why can't those two meet up at a playground or something, or indoor play area for children? Why can't they do that? Why not? Why not? So I'm going to side with Shamea on that. If the girls are used to hanging out and they do their little play dates, why can't they continue it? They have dads. I'm pretty sure they see each other at mutual kids parties. Why is that a problem? I don't even understand that. And I think that that was Porsha's way of just being truly done with the friendship. Porsha's like, I'm done, I'm pulling back, but Shamea doesn't know how to let go, okay? Shamea, unfortunately, sometimes grown-ups cannot be grown-ups, and they will let it trickle down to children. I'm not like that. I cannot really get along with someone, but, you know, I would still come to your child's birthday party, let the kids mingle. If your kid wanted to do something, I'm totally fine with that. I'm not like that, but unfortunately, not everyone is. So Shamea, again, asked Porsha, you know, why is it that, you know, you felt that way, that you didn't feel comfortable? Because I would never hurt your daughter. And Shamea was like, Porsha was like, oh, well, if I feel like you don't wish me well and you don't like me, then I wouldn't feel comfortable with sending my daughter around. And I'm going to stop and call BS on Porsha. I think that Porsha knows deep down that Shamea is a trustworthy person to have around her child. We can all tell that Shamea loves the ground that Porsha walks on. Shamea, come on, I can't see her doing anything to anyone's child, especially not Porsha's child. I cannot see that at all whatsoever. Shamea doesn't seem like she would do anything to a child to be spiteful to me. I just cannot see that. But anywho, guys, Shamea is saying, well, you know, I'm confused on how you could feel like that. Porsha says, well, you know, the only person who I could have a back and forth with, like how me and you do and how we spoke to each other, is if, you know, it was like my sister Lauren. That would be the only person who could still be around my child after all that stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, so basically you two were really going at it in them text messages and y'all still won't say what it is. Now, Shamea says, okay, but at your house, which was on the first episode of this season, you said that I'm like a sister to you when the girls were trying to ask about our friendship. You said you didn't want to talk about it, and I'm like a sister to you. I'm like Lauren, basically. And Porsha was like, oh, well, that's because I thought that the times when I date used to call you my sister, I thought you were a sister to me. Now, hold up, Porsha. That's BS, because you weren't bringing that girl around this whole season. You guys have not been mingling, talking, communicating, working on a relationship, nothing, okay? So Shamea says, well, did you feel like that or not? Because you just said it. Now, Shamea at this point is upset. I think she's realized Porsha does not want her friendship. Shamea is probably sitting there, oh, you made up with Angela. You and Angela went at it. You and Drew done went at it. You and K. Michelle went at it. You and Kelly have gone at it. Kelly said that you slept with every Nigerian and you have a hot chili cheese hoo-ha cat. Okay? Shamea is just sitting around. You know, you've even made up with Phaedra, who fed you dangerous lies that could have ruined your career. Now look at you. You can't even make up with me. I'm supposed to be your best friend from childhood, okay? Now the gloves are off. Shamea is fed up. Shamea says, well, look, you lied on me last season and I let it slide. You done a lot of things to me and I let it slide, but now we're going to talk about it. You know, you spoke on my mother and you said that my mom did egregious things. And Portia's like, oh, well, she did. I was just saying, you know, about the daycare thing, how she bought my mom's daycare. Girl, no. And then Portia's like, oh, well, I really don't care nothing about, I don't care what they did. I don't know nothing about their friendship. I don't care about that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Porsha. You know how we know you do? Because you brought it up last year. You cursed out Shamea on Instagram last year, and you mentioned up her mother. You did it at the reunion. You mentioned her mother. You mentioned the whole business thing and why they fell out. You do care, and you do think you know about their friendship because you have said it more than once, and you said it before Shamea. Shamea never, ever, ever mentioned her mom and your mom's business. She did not. You did that first last season on and off the show. Okay? Now Porsha's playing all dumb. Shamea lets the cat out the bag. Shamea's like, okay, well, because this is literally what Porsha said. Porsha's like, oh, well, everyone knew that. Everyone already knew that your mom did that. Everyone knew that. Okay. Shamea is tired of you talking about her mother. This is the last time you're going to stand on it, Porsha, because Shamea says, well, no one knew that your mom tried to sleep with my dad. Boom. Bombs are dropped. Everyone's mouth is to the ground. Okay. Now people are like, oh my gosh, Shamea, no, Shamea, no. You guys are acting like Shamea just punched this girl in the face. Okay, at the end of the day, they're going to go at it. It was going to come out. It was going to happen. I blame Shamea for one. Shamea, you've been bottling this up way too long. You have been bottling up how you feel about Porsha, the way she treats you, and now you're finally erupting. Porsha, you're at fault because you keep gaslighting Shamea. If you didn't like that girl, if you didn't really want to be her friend, you should have made it clear a while ago. Don't string her along or make her. I mean, it's been very clear to me and the audience and all the viewers, you really don't like her that much. And then I'm also going to put a little bit of blame on the group here. Y'all invest yourselves up in everyone else's tea, gossip, friendship. Y'all try to get other people to talk, communicate. Y'all want to get in between, every other friendship and beef and try to help put people back together. But y'all completely let Shamea and Porsha go the whole season without even speaking to each other. If y'all wanted to, y'all could have aided from a neutral point. What can we do to help you guys? Y'all could have done that. Y'all could have. Okay? So now everyone's like, oh, Shamea, no, Shamea, you're taking it too far. Did anyone say that when Porsha mentioned the daycare situation last year? Did anyone say that when Porsha cursed out Shamea and her mother on Instagram last year? Did anyone say that? No. But now y'all want to be mad at Shamea. Cool. Shamea is letting it all out. She says that it's generational. I guess the being dirty with men and sleeping with husbands, that stuff is generational in Porsha's family. Shots fired, okay? Now, Porsha does her old recycled read that she has done on everybody, including Drew. Oh, you are low down and you are dirty. You're a snake. Okay, Porsha, girl, let that go. We have heard that too many times from you. And I'm wondering if you really got that from Nene, because Nene was the first person we heard on the show say that to Phaedra back in season 5. But anywho. Porsha, as we all know, she gets into an argument with people. And when she's losing or feels like she's losing, she makes up a blatant lie. She just throws this lie out to Shamea. That's a lie. But, my mother and I spoke, and my mother said that your mother slept with your dad's brother. Girl, what? You just made that up. You know darn well Shamea's mom did not sleep with her brother-in-law. Stop it. And what would that have to do with Miss Diane sleeping with Shamea's dad? What does that have to do with that? Please stop. You did this to Kelly when you told Kelly that she was in bed with a married man, a pastor she met on a plane, and then was sleeping with him in the bed and on the phone talking about Porsha Ness while she was on the phone in the bed with the man after she just did it with a married pastor. Girl, please cut it out. And you never have receipts, okay? So Shamea says, well, that's a lie. That's a lie. You need to stop. Then she says, what's his name? What's his name? Which brother? Because Shamea's dad has more than one brother. Now, here we go with this whole thing with people getting in the middle. because Phaedra's in her confessional. Oh, well, if your mother did that, that's not the appropriate response. You're supposed to say that's a lie, not asking who did it. Like basically insinuating that, maybe Shamea's mom did do it. Phaedra, stop. You know Porsha is lying. You know why Shamea asked that. Shamea asked that because she's trying to catch Porsha in a lie. Porsha couldn't even say the guy's name. Porsha couldn't say, oh, it was the younger brother or the older brother. Porsha couldn't even say that. She didn't know. She just spat it out of her mouth, okay? Now they're going back and forth. Porsha's like, oh, she's someone that I would never want to be around. This is what I was talking about. Oh, I knew this was coming. Yeah, she's someone I don't even want to be near me. And Shamea's like, oh, well, I don't want to be near you either. All I'm going to say is, guys, on this episode, Shamea felt rejected. Shamea feels so rejected by Porsha. She feels so alone. She feels that she's being isolated from the group. And what I have to say, and if you don't like Shamea, if you don't like me, for whatever you feel like you're a big Porsha fan, I will say this. I will give y'all this one little nugget. I don't feel fully bad for Shamea. I feel like Shamea did do some of this last year to Drew. I feel like she's done some of this to Angela. I feel like Shamea would do it to anyone that Porsha was beefing with. And now it's her turn. And now she's getting that treatment and she doesn't like it because she knows what it is. She is being picked on. She's being isolated. She's being gaslighted and she doesn't like it. And she feels rejected. She's craving her friendship with Porsha. She misses Porsha and Porsha has paid her dust. Porsha has moved on with people that Shamea has seen and heard Porsha talk about the most, okay? And now Shamea is wondering, what's wrong with me? Why don't you think of me enough to be my friend too? I was there for you. I was by your side. I backed you up when all these girls spoke ill about you. I helped you tear down some of these girls. You made up with Phaedra. You made up with all these other people. You don't like me? I thought I was a good lapdog. And that is why these two are seriously beefing right now, okay? Now, Shamea mentioned that Porsha was like not really fond of her joining the show, and she lied on the reunion last year when she said that she always wanted Shamea on the show. Now, I believe Shamea when she says that Porsha told her it wasn't a good idea for her to join and it would probably ruin their friendship. And, it was more like her thing and Shamea has her own things and they don't need to try to do each other's things. Hold up. Stop right now. Stop right now. Stop the tape. Stop the tape. No grown 40-something-year-old woman is going to tell me what I can and can't do. If you're a singer and I enjoy singing too, I can be a singer. Okay? If I'm an actor and you out of nowhere want to become an actor, you can do that. If I enjoy teaching and you said, hey, I've always had a passion for teaching, but, I wasn't too sure, I'm not going to tell you, oh, well, no, you have your own thing. I have my own. If you want to do it, do it. No real friendship is putting limits on what you can do just because someone else is doing it. That is stupid. And some of you guys are still going to defend Porsha and be like, oh, well, she didn't want the show to come in between their friendship. If they were true friends, this show would not have come between their friendship anyway. We saw Robin and Giselle hold down their friendship for seasons on the show. We have seen friendships survive on these shows, okay? They're just not real friends. And I'm not going to fully put it all on one person. I'm just going to say they are not true friends. Porsha does not want her friendship with Shamea. And Shamea looks thirsty, always crying about Porsha. Because as usual in true Shamea fashion, she storms off crying, upset, and Porsha's like, bye. Porsha could care less. Shamea, I hope you're watching this video. That girl does not love you. She does not like you. Let it go. Your kids are not going to hang. Let it go. Stop this generational beef. Your moms didn't like each other. You guys don't like each other. What's the point of your daughters even hanging out? What do y'all want? A freaking rival bloodline? Let it go. Let it go, Shamea. But that's all I have for you guys. I wanted to explain that beef. If you want more of their history, I have quite a few videos diving and digesting their old tea and history. Now, I do have a feeling that things are going to get much worse between these two. And if you watch some of my old videos, I did discuss that things were going to get heated on their overseas trip. So I was right. Now, I did hear too last year that they almost got into it physically and they had to be held back from each other. So let's see if that happens. But you guys like this video, subscribe to my channel, and meet me in the comments because I definitely want to talk about this. And let me know what y'all think. I reply to every comment because I actually do enjoy this show and I like the tea. And I really do want to hear what y'all think because sometimes you guys, you know, usually have a similar opinion or different. But either way, meet me in the comments, y'all, and take care of yourselves. Bye.